Y'all have been coming at my drip in the comments, so I had to flex on you guys. I'm stunting in this armor. This might be the most all-around fun build in Helldivers 2, and it makes you feel like an absolute maniac. And the build I'm talking about is the double-edged sickle paired with any fire-resistant armor. This gun is impressive on its own with or without this armor. This thing mows through groups of enemies. But there's a big caveat here. This thing overheats, and when it overheats, it does damage to you. It can do so much damage so quickly that it can actually kill you. But that's where the fix comes in. We throw in this fire-resistant armor, and we kind of have a cheat code. Once you put on this armor, you forget what burning even is. Okay, that's actually not necessarily true. You still can die from fire damage with this thing. It's just you're a lot more resistant to it. But this armor really shines when paired with this weapon. It basically takes the weapon's biggest downside and completely deletes it. This gun is so cool because it doesn't feel like you're using a normal weapon. I've said this before on my channel, but once again, this gun totally reminds me of a weapon you'd see in Star Wars. When I'm fighting the bots, it literally feels like I'm just killing droids, and it feels absolutely awesome. Although, not gonna lie, I always did look at myself more as a Jedi, not as someone who'd shoot, so... Nonetheless, this build lets you play way more aggressive. You're not worrying about your weapon, and you're not constantly staring in the bottom left corner hoping that you don't overheat it too much. This is honestly one of those really refreshing builds that can change up some staleness within gameplay for you guys. Honestly, for me, I feel like I've hit a kind of a rut in Helldivers 2. Especially since the update, I feel like I've been getting my butt whooped. So when I have that feeling and I'm struggling to have as much fun as I normally do, I think it's really important to change it up. And changing it up with this was an absolute blast. I can't stress enough, not only is this an effective build, but it's a fun build. I think sometimes the meta in games can be very boring because they're overpowered. This doesn't really feel like that. This feels like it gives you the keys to a chaotic weapon, and then your job is to embrace that chaos, and all the chaos is what leads to your success. And that's kind of what Helldivers 2 is all about. This thing doesn't do great against massive enemies like Bile Titans, tanks, factory striders, but when it comes to crowd control, this thing is absolutely elite. Pair this with a bunch of stratagems that can be anti-tank, and you're in for an absolute treat. I personally like doing this build with a bunch of airstrikes. I also really enjoyed using extra fire airstrikes because I had the fire resistance armor. I can't stress enough, guys. You're not invincible to fire, you're just resistant to it. So yeah, if you're looking for a build that's reckless, chaotic, insane, but honestly a super fun vibe, try out the double-edged sickle with any fire resistant armor. Yes, it might get a little bit messy, but you're in for an absolute treat. Be patient with yourself. You might not nail it the first time you try this build. It might take some getting used to, but be patient, and I'm willing to bet that you'll eventually find your groove with it. Do you guys have any other builds like this? I'll be super curious if you guys suggest anything else. I have seen someone talk about melee weapons, and I know there is a melee enhanced armor, so maybe I would try something like that if you guys would want to see it. Guys, thank you all for the support lately on my channel. I have grown so much in such a short period of time, and it's honestly meant a lot to me as a person. I'm really thankful for every single individual that has contributed to the growth of this channel, and I hope to make you all proud one day. I'm going to continue to try my best, but I'm also going to be genuine, and I'm going to try to spread kindness. That is really my biggest goal of this channel. I apologize if sometimes I'm not perfect with my information. I'm always trying my best. I'm just honestly juggling a lot on my plate right now, especially as I'm trying to grow this channel. So I appreciate you guys correcting me in the comments, and I'll always admit when I'm wrong. Thank you for everything, guys. Please go ahead and have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. Peace!